Well, great Thursday it is. We call it Throwback Thursday for a reason, as we go back a little bit into the history of Kenya's politics in our special segment, Presidents from Roland, a 5-point series that runs till Friday. You don't want to miss it, even as we come back to what is happening currently in the country with both Azimio la Umoja movement and the Kenya Kwanza coalition pitching camp in the western part of the country as they seek to align the region behind their camps. Well, these are just some of the stories we focus on tonight, and of course we have 5/5 segment at the end of the bulletin. Welcome to the bold and incisive bulletin, Maisha Prime News, that airs Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. and 9 a.m. and on weekends, that is Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. My name is Rida Kerem Chebet. Alright, welcome. Murang'a women representative Sabina Chege on Thursday responded to claims by Kenya Kwanza Alliance that the Azimio la Umoja plans to rig the upcoming general elections, which is slated for August 9th, 2022. Speaking during an Azimio campaign in Vihiga County, Chege told of Deputy President William Ruto, who claimed that there was a wider scheme to rig him out of the country's top seat in favor of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Bushebi Jr. has more.
After a successful tour of Siaya County, Azimio la Umoja Brigade on Thursday toured Vihiga County. Azimio campaign spearheaded by ODM deputy party leaders Hassan Joho and Wycliffe Oparanya pitched camp in Vihiga County in what is seen as a move to counter the Kenya Kwanza alliance that has been crisscrossing the western region to woo voters to support them ahead of the August 9th general elections.
Hapa vile nimekaa nimeona ni kama naweza toka na jamaa mmoja. Lakini kwanza waraka ili tuongee kwa simu ni 0722 Baba the 5th.
Leaders allied to the ODM boss, including Sonar East Member of Parliament Junet Mohammed, Narok County Senator Ledama Olekina, ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna, and Murang'a Women Representative Sabina Chege responded to claims by Kenya.
Asema kutakuwa na kazi milioni 1 kwa vijana. Hiyo kazi iko. Alisema kutakuwa na stadium iko. Alisema kutakuwa na laptop iko. Nyinyi watu wa Luanda mnaweza toshea ndani ya wilbaro kweli? Tunatoshea ndani ya wilbaro kweli? Ni wilbaro ama ni Azimio? Wilbaro ama ni Azimio?
Mtu mzima ambaye uko na ujuzi, uko na hekima, uko na maarifa, uko na miaka mingi Mungu amekupatia, unaweza omba kazi William Ruto? Unaweza omba kazi William Ruto? Ile kazi wewe unaweza omba William Ruto ni kazi ya wizi peke yake. Niseme nisiseme? Ile kazi ambayo unaweza omba William Ruto ni kazi gani? Ni kazi gani? Sasa
During the rally, a young boy identified as Nestor Abraham Kavais told the show during the Azimio la Umoja rally in Vihiga County. Nestor struck a rapport with Sabina Chege before he was given a chance to speak. The boy imitated Raila's voice before telling the crowd, "Give me something." Joho took the microphone, and when he asked Nestor who would be the next president of Kenya, he said Raila Odinga, with the crowd cheering the boy.
Aya! Tinga la Kenya, haya! Mimi wenyu, Raila Odinga. tingatinga ya Kegonti inaweza. Amen. Huyu Ruto kutudanganya tu hapa na mawili baro. Na wamama wanataka mang'ombe. Watu wanataka Tulia. Ambia jirani yako sahi ni wakati wa baba. Na Joho. Mheshimiwa Ali Hassan Joho. Amen. Joho. Mheshimiwa Joho. Give me something ban. I am broke. Na wewe Oria.
Mpelekee Joho. Mmesikia vile kijana?
Kama kijana mwenyewe anajua ukweli, wewe nani upinge? Kama mtoto mdogo anajua ukweli, wewe nani upinge? Hebu sema tena jina lako.
Nesta Jacob Kavai.
Rais wa Kenya wa 5 ni nani?
Raila Omolo Odinga.
Asante.
Wetu hapa Mudavadi akamfanya deputy prime minister. Kwa hivyo hii ni wakati wetu sisi wa Vihiga kuhakikisha ya kwamba baba ameingia State House. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki.
The Azimio team seeks to mobilize Kenyans to join the movement and back former Prime Minister Raila Odinga's bid to succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta in the August polls. President Uhuru Kenyatta's succession has taken a dynamic stride escalated by his strained relationship with his deputy, whom he accused of abandoning his government duties prematurely to start campaigning for his presidential bid. On February 7th, Uhuru, who had been taking in constant jabs from Ruto and his allies, finally clapped back at the Ruto team. He told the DP that the time had come for him to join politics.
Sisi leo tumekuja kuleta ujumbe wa baba.
Azimio's leader Raila Odinga is abroad continuing his 10-day tour. For Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, Abisha Bijonia.
And a recent survey by research firm Mizani Africa shows that ODM presidential hopeful Raila Amolo Odinga is the most preferred candidate in Mombasa, Isiolo, Kwale and Kajiado counties. The deputy president is leading in Embu County with 71.8%. The findings were in a study conducted between January 24th and 31st, 2022 across 20 constituencies. Let's have a look.
The formation of Kenya Kwanza Alliance brought some sort of a shift, especially when Musalia Mudavadi and William Samoei Ruto came together, okay, making Musalia Mudavadi, okay, the people who supported him as the president, like right now they are somehow not knowing which position to go, okay, so and the only option remaining is Kalonzo Musyoka as of now, before we see whether Oka will also maybe join any alliance, and then now we'll be able to measure the two giants. So we usually don't look at the party affiliation factor when we are looking at the popularity rating of these other aspirants, apart from now the presidential and the political parties. Yeah. So the governors, if someone affiliates themselves with the leading party or alliance in their own region, it's a favor to them. If they are not, we've seen that happening to so many aspirants all over. Okay, and some of them were even saying that maybe they are committing political suicide when they join the wrong alliance or the wrong party. So that's how the crowd feels. Okay, so though I might not project that statistically.
Migori CAS have impeached the County Assembly Speaker Boaz Okoth over allegations of gross misconduct. Mr. Okoth was accused of breaking into the finance office and stealing files. The angry MCAs passed the motion to kick the speaker out after they accused him of holding the county assembly captive by his actions. They said Okoth had made it difficult for them to perform their oversight role. The MCAs accused the speaker of fighting members opposed to him. At the same time, the MCAs accused Okoth of delaying their salaries. They also accused him of high hard-headedness and trying to change assembly committees without following established procedures. A total of 46 MCAs turned up during the session, while 11 skipped, 2 abstained from voting, 2 voted no, as 42 voted in support of the impeachment. Bukira Central MCA Matthews Chacha, who has been the deputy speaker, now acts as the speaker
of the county assembly in Bungoma County. The 600,000.
Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru has dismissed regional political outfits coalescing around the Azimio la Umoja movement, terming them as briefcase parties with no solid membership. Waiguru, who decamped from the ruling Jubilee Party and joined the United Democratic Alliance UDA, on whose ticket she will seek to defend her seat in the August 9th general election, said the governing party is a shadow of its former self. She also took a swipe at NARC Kenya, an outfit led by former Constitutional Affairs Martha Karua and her bitter rival, saying the party has not elected leaders in the county and the larger Mount Kenya region. Let's have a look.
Kama sasa Kirinyaga tuko na chama cha NARC Kenya. Iko MCA hata mmoja wa NARC Kenya? Iko hata mbunge mmoja wa NARC Kenya Kirinyaga? Hata Mount Kenya hakuna. Chama iko kwa karatasi, lakini wafuasi hakuna. Kwa hivyo hata mtu akisema ako na chama 20, sisi hatubabaiki na chama 20, kwa sababu hizo chama ni briefcase political party. Watu wasijifiche kusema maneno ya independence, kwa sababu kupeleka serikali mbele lazima ukuwe umeshikanisha na serikali kuu ndio uweze kuleta maendeleo. Hawezi kuwa uko na independent. Ushaisikia kuna president independent kweli? Mbona hakuna mwingine anasimama president independent party? Sisi tunataka kujulikana Wakikuyu kama watu ambao tunaweka promise. Sisi ni watu waaminifu. Sisi sio watu wadanganyifu. Sisi sio wakora. Agosti itafika, tutawaonesha nani ana nguvu ya kuamua viongozi wa nchi la Kenya. Si ndio wananchi? Wasidhani matusi ndio kura, na matusi sio maendeleo. Kama mtu ana sera zake asimame auze sera zake kwa wananchi, lakini sio kuzunguka Kirinyaga na matusi ama kuzunguka Mount Kenya region na matusi ukidhani ukitukana mtu ndio kura zinaenda chini.
And moving on, Speaker of the National Assembly Justin Muturi has commended the Electoral Commission IEBC for clarifying the issue of resignation of members of county assemblies MCAs aspiring for higher elective seats. Muturi said he had consulted with the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC and agreed with the position taken by Chairman Ofula Chebukati that MCAs don't have to resign now but before presenting nomination papers. Muturi had earlier drawn the attention of MCAs to Section 99(2)(a) of the Constitution, which requires the county members to quit 6 months before the general election. However, Chebukati came out 2 days ago to clarify that the Elections Act requires the MCAs to do so by the time of presenting nomination papers. The only ward representatives required to resign by April 9th are those seeking parliamentary and gubernatorial seats, while those defending their seats can serve their full term. According to the IEBC elections calendar, party primaries will be conducted between April 16th and 22nd. Names of candidates to participate in party primaries must have been submitted by April 9th. The speaker, who has declared his intention to vie for the presidency on a DP ticket, was speaking on Thursday in Githunguri town, Kiambu County, where he held a town hall engagement with grassroots political leaders of the Democratic Party. Muturi is expected to be endorsed as the presidential flag bearer by about 1,000 Democratic Party delegates from Kiambu County. Muturi reiterated that presidential aspirants looking for votes in Mount Kenya region should respect the area people. Now to sad news. Somber mood has engulfed a village in Malava constituency in Kakamega County, where a middle-aged man allegedly stabbed his wife to death and later committed suicide in front of their 5-year-old girl. It is suspected that two have been having domestic quarrel day in, day out for some time now. Let's listen in.
Kwa hivyo landlord akaniambia pasua kioo. Nikapasua kioo. Na vile kioo ilianguka chini, mtoto alikuwa ndani akalia. Sasa mimi kuchungulia, kwa hiyo kiona nikaona mama kwa kiti amekufa. Kuangalia kando kule kijana amechinyonga. Sasa kile kitu nilifanya, nikaambia mtoto, "Hebu shuka hapa Daniela." Akashuka. Nikamwambia fungua mlango. Sasa nikasukuma mlango upande ndani na yeye naye akatoa konzi na akafungua.
Juzi tena ndio nikasikia tena wamerudi Kambiri Junction wanatafuta nyumba. Kuwauliza penye mlienda shida ilikuwa nini? Msichana akaniambia siku moja, akasema huko mama, kijana huwa anafika usiku anachukua kisu anaweka juu ya neti. Na mimi nimelala. Namuuliza hii kisu inafanya nini huku juu? Ananiambia mimi hiyo nilishangaza mpaka nikachukua hiyo kisu nikapelekea assistant chief, nikapelekea Liguru kumuonyesha kijana ananionyeshaga kisu usiku, ni kusema nini?
Nimekasirika kweli kupata vijana wanaua wanawake wenye hawana hatia. Mtoto wa mtu mwenye amekubali kuishi na wewe, amejitolea ni kwa ajili ya kukufulia, anakupikia, amekuzalia mtoto, na unaendelea mpaka unamuua. Vijana kuanzia leo, msipokuwa na mizamu, tutatembea nyumba kwa nyumba, tujue ya kwamba mnaishi na mna gani, ni nini inaendelea yenye nafanya mnaua wa mama.
A sad story indeed. And moving on, women leaders allied to Orange Democratic Movement leader Raila Odinga have launched a strategy movement aimed at mobilizing support for Azimio la Umoja movement dubbed Jeshi la Baba ni Akina Mama. The movement was unveiled on Thursday in an event attended by Kitui Governor Charity Ngilu, former Cabinet Secretary and Nyandarua gubernatorial hopeful Cecily Kariuki, the Nairobi Governor Anne Kananu, Nairobi Women Representative Esther Passaris, and Public Service and Gender Chief Administrative Secretary Beatrice Elachi, among others. The main agenda for the group behind Odinga's presidential bid being to recruit 27.5 million women across the country to rally behind his bid.
Azimio la Umoja inawezekana. Jeshi la Baba, Jeshi la Baba, Baba hoye! Asante sana Mheshimiwa Wangari Mwaneki MP Kegumo. Baba hoye! Baba hoye! Our women walk scores of kilometers for hours each day, time that would be better spent on other family and nation building activities, searching for water.
Cost of water, particularly for the poor among them women. Water must and will be the least of every Kenyan household's worries. This is our promise to our women. This is a message we are taking to our women across our nation. This is the People's Project, promised to millions of our households across our nation. Hakuna tena wakati wa mgongo wa mama kuumia kwa sababu ya maji. Hakuna tena wakati kichwa cha mama kitaumia kwa sababu ya kutafuta maji. Tumehangaika sana. Hakuna wakati Mkenya atalala bila kuoga. Hakuna wakati Mkenya atakosa kunywa maji, atakosa maji fresh ya kunywa. Na sisi kina mama kama jeshi la baba la kuhakikisha baba Raila Amolo Odinga.
Ugenya North MCA aspirant who was allegedly kidnapped on Monday has been found. Salim Ombeta claimed that he was kidnapped by unknown people at Ba Ober area of Butula constituency, Busia County, on his way home. His attackers will later dump him in a sugarcane plantation in Matayos constituency of Busia County after assaulting him and warning him to quit politics.
Kuna watu watatu walikuwa na probox, walinikidnap pale Baroberi njia kuingia jera, na wakaniweka kwa gari na wakanzungusha jana yote, hiyo usiku yote, mpaka hii leo asubuhi nimepatikana kwa miwa sehemu za Mataus kwa milimani huko.
Alikuwa ameniambia kwamba wako kwa mkutano, kuna watu anaenda kutana nao Bumala. Na baadaye kidogo nikapata kwamba hapatikani kwenye simu. Sasa nikashindwa nini naendelea, nikasema maybe pengine hata simu imeenda off.
If it is politics that has made my friend to be like this or was kidnapped, then I'm asking the DCI of Ugenya, the DCI Busia, to help us know who is after his life.
Wamejaribu kunipiga kiasi, wamenitesa na njaa na pesa na wallet na ID ambao nilikuwa nao wameweza kwenda nazo. Sasa ni vile tu walinifunga na kamba miguu na mikono.
Sasa baadaye kidogo nikaona nikipigiwa simu nikiarifiwa kwamba amepatikana Mataus kwa miwa.
Na kuna wale ambao nilikuwa nasikia ambao hawakufurahishwa na ile siasa ambao nilikuwa nikipiga. Ripoti nimepiga kwa polisi ya Mataus police station na wakaniambia niende kwa hospitali kwanza nitibiwe.
Right, let's just take a quick commercial break, and immediately after the break we'll be having the third episode of our special political feature, Presidents from Lowland by Bushebi Jr. Starting this Monday,
we'll have another go at another election. Ofala Pujana is no longer chairman of Ford Kenya.
Exclusive to Maisha TV, we bring you a 5-part series of Presidents from Lowland.
Waja wao waporomoke, waja wao waporomoke, viongozi wetu tuombe.
Kuwaletea hospitali ambayo ni ya kutibu wananchi na kuna vinyangareka wa KPU wanasuputu kuja hapa na kusema maneno machafu.
Sisi tunatoka, chukua kazi yako na wende naye.
Brought to you by Bushebi Jr.
I take the journey on the history lane to explore the philosophy, ideology, leadership and the cost paid by great leaders of the Luo nation.
Don't miss Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. on Maisha Prime News.
Shangala Technical Training Institute, Center of Excellence. Prepare for the beast. Informative, authoritative, unbiased. Welcome to Maisha News. Navaholo Technical and Vocational College, Center of Excellence in Building and Civil Engineering.
Now, education is always the key to success. Education is the background. Education should be the foundation. As Maisha TV, we embrace, we honor, and we value education.
Education is a way of bringing information, knowledge to our people, and that is the basic importance that we can see education doing.
We are here as solid partners to the growth of academics and career building in the nation. It is all here on your fastest growing TV station, Maisha TV, where you choose it, watch it, and love it.
Was that you? Johnny, Johnny. Yes, Papa. Eating sugar. No, Papa.
Najivunia kuwa Mkenya. Na ninajali matukio yanayojiri nchini Kenya na ulimwengu mzima. Natazama runinga ya Maisha ili nipate habari kamili. Naichagua, naitazama na ninaipenda. Maisha TV ni bora. Unapotia bidii katika maisha, mwishowe unafanikiwa. Unapotazama runinga ya Maisha, unajifunza, unaelimika na unafurahia. Twakujuza kila mara, tutia fora kwa kupasha yaliyomo, yanayojiri na kujenga maisha mbeleni. Hii ni runinga ya Maisha.
You must learn to wake up in the night. Use your nights when people are asleep and there's no distraction. You wake up.
No man who has taken time to holistically give himself to the word of God has not proved it that it works. The word of God cannot fail.
All the sins were paid for on the cross. When Christ died on the cross, all our sins were paid, and we are now free. Our past, our present, and future sins have been forgiven.
That is why we lay hands on the lame and they walk. We lay hands on the blind and they see. We lay hands on the deaf and they hear. It's powerful enough to give you the answer on its first application.
Someone tells you in the office, over my dead body for you to rise. Don't fight him. Go back to your control room. Madish kalika baruskiata. Embreketes kadiva katasiata.
God will remain God in whatever circumstances we are finding ourselves in. And if we want to get out of the circumstances that make us uncomfortable, then the best and most important thing we need to do is to know how to praise God.
You are hearing a report in your job that is not pleasing. Carry your CV and drop it on the ground.
The Bible says he abides in the presence of his people. When you praise him, then he has to manifest who he is.
The stage is set. The time is now. Credible news. It is prime news. Only on Maisha TV. Prepare for the beast. Informative. Authoritative. Unbiased. Maisha News.
Welcome back and thank you so much for keeping it here. You're watching Maisha Prime News. Well, and as I informed you earlier, let me usher in Bushebi Jr. with the segment Presidents from Luoland.
I take the journey on the history lane to explore the philosophy, ideology, leadership and the cost paid by great leaders of the Luo nation. Here is the journey of Mzee Oginga Odinga and his son Raila Odinga. My name is Bushebi Jr.
Aliposema mimi naunga mkono Saitoti, akafanya nini? Bungoma aliposema mimi naunga mkono Mdavadi, akafanya nini? Na Hanili akafanya nini? Na Sarkoni akafanya nini? Odoza akafanya nini? Wasundu wako ngoja, Wasundu akawatoka, sio? Simba
and there was a fight between Saitoti and Raila Odinga, and it was so bad until Raila Odinga gave up and said it's not about being a prime minister, is about getting Moi out. And because that was the rallying call, everybody submitted to Raila Odinga being the nominee of LDP to be the prime minister.
Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga, tulisema sisi hatungoji kupigwa kalama, sisi tunatoka, chukua kazi yako na uende naye.
Moi was left with his hand-picked successor, almost alone with the party reduced to an empty shell with poor electoral prospects. The Rainbow Movement went on to join the Liberal Democratic Party LDP, which later teamed up with the opposition Mwai Kibaki's National Alliance Party of Kenya NAC, a coalition of several other parties to form the National Rainbow Coalition NAC. Amid fears that this opposition super alliance would fail to unite and rally behind a common candidate as in previous occasions, thus easily hand victory to the government, Odinga declared Kibaki Tosha, Swahili for Kibaki is sufficient, an endorsement of a Kibaki ticket.
Kibaki si ametosha? Wamkasemaje? Nyachai akasema tio Raila alifanya makosa. Mimi nilisema, niliuliza wananchi walisema Kibaki imetosha. Imetosha? Imetosha? Ulafi wa siasa hawezi kupeleka mtu mahali. Wakati inafika ambaye kama wewe ni mwanasiasa mpaka uangalie kwenye ukuta na usome maneno ambayo iko kwenye ukuta. Lakini ndugu yetu hakusema hiyo. Lakini bado tunaomba Mungu wataona mwangaza na watarudi kwetu.
This resolved the matter of candidacy and NAC went on to defeat Moi's protege Uhuru Kenyatta. The opposition won a landslide 67% of the vote, dealing a humiliating blow to Moi.
Na hapa kwamba
Odinga led the campaign for Kibaki throughout the country, while Kibaki was bedridden and incapacitated following an accident in which he sustained injuries.
Mimi Mwai Kibaki naapa kwamba nitatenda kazi zangu za urais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. One would have preferred to overlook some of the all too obvious human errors and forge ahead, but it would be unfair to Kenyans not to raise
On assuming office, President Kibaki did not appoint Odinga as Prime Minister in the new government, contrary to a pre-election memorandum of understanding.
After Kibaki was sworn in, the gates were closed. And the gates were closed by one person called Matere Kereri, the controller of State House. These are the new operators.
At least one provision had been changed. It was the provision of sharing government positions, sharing the management of state, whereby the president was Mwai Kibaki. Then below there was share equally this position, ministerial positions, permanent secretary, all that stuff. Now, it was then changed to say it may not necessarily be that way. That is now what broke the camel's back.
Kenya's constitution had no provision for Prime Minister yet. Neither did he give LDP, Odinga's faction, half of the cabinet positions as per the MOU. He instead sought to entrench and increase his own NAC side in cabinet, even appointing members of parliament from the opposition parties, KANU and Ford people, to the cabinet. The perceived betrayal started a simmering disquiet, which in time led to an open rebellion and a split within the cabinet. A key point of disagreement was a proposed new constitution for the country, which was a major campaign issue that had united Kibaki's NAC and Odinga's LDP in the campaign.
They were doing this because they had been forced into a position. When we were first set up, we were working in a room smaller than the one that we are holding this interview in. If you look at the setup of the committee, there was a requirement that 3 of the experts had to be non-Kenyans. The level of tension between the Kenyan people was so high that Kenyans could not be trusted to sit in a room by themselves and do something in the interests of Kenya.
We agreed that President Kibaki will serve as president, but within 90 days, a constitutional moment had arisen where we are going now to amend the Katiba and create the position of Prime Minister, because we were going to have 2 deputy presidents, right? The one, Kibaki pleaded that he must start with the late Kijana Wamalwa, and I always felt they could have agreed on me to be the deputy to Kibaki, but that did not happen. We accepted Wamalwa to start, and then when Wamalwa died, it was expected I was going to be the deputy president. But that did not happen again.
This constitution included provisions to trim presidential powers to reign in what was seen as an autocratic presidency, a feature of both the Moi and first President Jomo Kenyatta's regimes, which had led to a lot of power abuse and an unaccountable leadership. Once in power, however, Kibaki's government instituted a constitutional committee which turned around and submitted a draft constitution that was perceived to consolidate presidential powers and weaken regional governments, contrary to the pre-election draft. Odinga opposed this and went on to campaign with his LDP cabinet colleagues on the referendum no side, opposing the president and his lieutenants in a bruising countrywide campaign.
Sasa mtashika adabu, sio? Na sisi tuko tayari kama wanachunga kwenda nao mpaka kule katika debe. Timu ya Orange imeshinda timu ya Ndizi, sivyo? Bao 10-0.
We had a constitutional stillbirth. We found ourselves between the devil and the deep blue sea. We don't want the old constitution. We have rejected the new one. We take the view that we have lost the momentum. President Kibaki is now sitting pretty, and there is really no urge to have a new constitutional dispensation.
When the document was put up to a referendum on 21st November in 2005, the government lost by a 57% to a 43% margin. Embarrassingly for Kibaki, out of 8 provinces, only one, the central province where his tribe, the Kikuyu, are dominant, voted yes for the document, isolating his own tribe from the rest of Kenya and exposing his campaign as ethnic-based. A shell-shocked and disappointed President Kibaki sacked the entire cabinet on 23rd of November in 2005.
Following the results of the referendum, it has become necessary for me, as the President of the Republic, to reorganize my government. I have directed that the offices of all ministers and all assistant ministers become vacant.
When it was reconstituted 2 weeks later, Odinga and the entire LDP group were left out. This led to the formation of a new opposition outfit, the Orange Democratic Movement, ODM, and orange was the symbol for the no vote in the constitutional referendum.
Assure this house that I will be a very dynamic, steadfast, honest leader.
There will be a post of Prime Minister.
Hiyo tu tukumbuke, Mungu ametusaidia, lakini tumepoteza mengi.
I take the journey on the history lane to explore the philosophy, ideology, leadership and the cost paid by great leaders of the Luo nation. Here is the journey of Mzee Oginga Odinga and his son Raila Odinga. My name is Bushebi Jr.
Kenya Kwanza Alliance leaders have sensationally claimed that President Uhuru Kenyatta is seeking to remain in power by using ODM leader Raila Odinga as a proxy. The alliance who camped in Nyamira County on Thursday claimed that Raila government will be an extension of Uhuru's administration. Millicent Makoha reports.
The Deputy President William Ruto, together with Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula, on Wednesday led his Kenya Kwanza leaders on a tour to Nyamira County. The county is well known to be the Orange Democratic Movement party leader Hon Raila Odinga's backyard. The trio was on a trip with a bid to woo Nyamira residents to support the ambition to form the next government.
Na ndio hapo tunasema, ikiwa Uhuru Kenyatta alikosana na Ruto, asituletee. Yeye atengeneze mambo yake vile walikosana na Ruto. Mimi sijakosana na Ruto. Na nyinyi Nyamira mmekosana na Ruto? Mmekosana na yeye? Bas, hiyo ni point ya kwanza. Mnaelewa kabisa? Patron wa Azimio ni nani? Hiyo ni project ya Uhuru Kenyatta.
Alafu hivi karibuni anasema atateua nani atakuwa deputy president wa Tinga. Yaani yeye abaki patron, aweke hawa jamaa kama vibaraka, awe anafanya remote control akizidi kuendesha serikali hii. Mnakubali hiyo? Mnakubali hiyo? Sisi tunataka viongozi ambao who will take responsibility.
Wakiwa mamlakani, wakiwa kwa nafasi hiyo, wajulikane kwamba hiyo serikali wakitoa uamuzi sio uamuzi ambao umeingia kwa dirisha ya nyuma. wawe wale wako kwa hiyo hali ndio wanatoa huo uamuzi.
As we stand here, imebaki siku 180 Rais Uhuru Kenyatta kutoka ofisi. We want to advise him as our friend, aige mfano wa mzee Mwai Kibaki. Sit back and relax, my brother, and watch as Kenyans decide who will be the next president. Usijiingize kwa hii game alafu utoke kwa ofisi with a rotten egg on your face.
Tumesema raundi hii haki yetu ya kujichagulia rais ambaye tunataka hatutanyang'anywa na mtu yeyote. Ni haki yetu kumchagua mtu ambaye sisi wenyewe tunamtaka, na ndio maana tuko nyuma ya William Samoei Ruto. Hata Kiambu tuko nyuma yake. Asanteni sana watu wa Nyamira.
Several leaders allied to the three principals spoke at the rallies.
Asanteni. Mimi sina mengi. Mimi tu nitawaambia wangapi wanafuliza hapa? Wangapi hufuliza? Ala, nyinyi wote mnafuliza? Mnataka kuendelea kufuliza ama uchumi bora? Mnataka uchumi bora? Mnataka siasa ya utapeli iendelee na ya usaliti, ama siasa safi ya uchumi bora, kazi ni kazi, pesa irudi kwa mfuko? Siasa safi ya kuunganisha Wakenya, pesa irudi mfuko. Nataka niwaambie sisi huko kwetu Kikuyu, Kiambu. Ati wapi? Kiambu County. Sinajua hiyo ndio kaunti ya Rais Uhuru Kenyatta.
The leaders castigated their opponents who they termed as clueless team, terming them state projects. Leaders who accompanied the trio agreed to work with Kenya Kwanza coalition in the next general election.
Abanyali bali bami tombu ya mole mwezi. Tokwana niango, tokwana nyango, tokwana niango. Inchenoyo inoga iga korunsa kiamo kama Millicent Omanga Nairobi ba manyete buna mama miradi donko bolie kerogo kelikia bangina etole ekiombe kia Kenya Kwanza UDA Kenya Kwanza ebwataine na Chief Hasla William Ruto Musalia Mudavadi na Moses Wetangula igona botora motogo tara igo ntete ko babori abana ba minto mwachera neteto tara igo.
The leaders who accompanied him include the Amani National Congress leader Musalia Mudavadi, Ford Kenya Party leader Moses Wetangula, Madira Member of Parliament Hon Rigathi Gachagua, Kiharu Member of Parliament Hon Ndindi Nyoro, Kandara Member of Parliament Hon Alice Wahome, among other leaders. Both Raila-led team Azimio la Umoja and Kenya Kwanza are in a bid to convince Kenyans to vote for them to form next government come August 9th.
Muko na hiyo habari? Muko na habari? Ama muko na muktasari? Muko na habari kamili? Nyinyi muko chonjo mbaya sana. Na sasa mimi nauliza nyinyi Nyamira. Unajua kuna wanaume wamepangana kule Nairobi kwa mahoteli na maofisi. Ati wanataka kutupanga sisi, watupangie ati nani atakuwa kiongozi wetu. Ati mnasemaje Nyamira? Ati Mabundu mnasemaje? Ati Mabundu mnasemaje? Mumekataa kupangwa? Mumekataa kupangwa? So wale wako Nairobi kwa maofisi na mahoteli wanafikiria watatupanga. Ati wanatupangia.
For Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television, I'm Millicent Makoha.
Wale ndio wataamua.
And moving on, let's have a look at our education segment.
A proper education sets people up to grow personally, professionally, and socially. It can awaken joy, curiosity, and a deep desire to solve problems and help others. Plus, teaching a student can inspire them to pursue leadership roles and positively impact to those around them. Speaking exclusively to Maisha Television, Mr. Andrew Ayemba, the senior principal at Nyasanda High School located in Ugunja Sub-County in Siaya County, has outlined the strategies put in place by academic department to achieve the said school mean score.
I'm Andrew Ayemba, principal Nyasanda Community High School. Nyasanda Community High School is located in Ambira Zone, Ugunja Sub-County, Siaya County. Nyasanda Community is a mixed school with a population of 492. Out of the 492, 247 are girls and 245 are boys. It's a unique school because it's a mixed school that we have more girls and boys. Ugunja, the Sonar community is located near Ugunja Township, some 1.5 kilometers from Ugunja Township, and majority of the students come from the Ugunja Township. Though some come from the surrounding village, but the main catchment area is the Ugunja Township. The school was founded in 2002 to serve the parents who could not take their students to boarding schools, and the purpose was to provide such underprivileged families with quality education. From the time of its inception, the school has grown to a 2-stream school, and plans are underway to start 3 streams. A lot have been achieved by the school. Every year, a good number of students are qualified to university and other mid-level colleges. For example, last year, a total of 10 students got a C+ and above and were admitted in different universities. The leading students had A- grade and was ranked number 3 in the whole sub-county. Senior subject, which is physics, appeared number 1 in the sub-county. So generally, in terms of academics, the school has made several steps, and this is seen by the number of the alumni who are scattered all over the country, holding very different prominent positions. This year, we have registered 109 candidates, and we still hope that the candidates of 2021 are likely to register a positive deviation against the performance of the 2020 group.
According to Mr. Ayemba, Nyasanda High School has an admirable history in drama, music, soccer, and in curriculum activities.
In terms of co-curricula, it's unfortunate from 2020, 2021, and 2022, because of COVID, schools were not participating, but going by our previous records, our drama team has been performing so well. I remember 2019, we had a team that went up national, which was held in Kibabi High School. The same year, our music team also made it to national. We also participate in sports like football girls, football boys, and in most cases, we make it up to regional.
The school has good learning environment which has attracted high enrollment in the school.
Currently, the school is undertaking various projects. There's a second laboratory which is under construction. We only have one laboratory which is used to teach all the 8 classes, the 3 sciences, but currently the school is putting up a laboratory that is sponsored by the Ministry of Education. Last year, the school was given a library by NGAF. That is women representatives here. Dr. Mbaka donated a very wonderful library to the school. And last Friday, which was 4th, our MP presided over the launching of the school bus, which had been donated to the school by the CDF. The bus is a 51-seater, and it cost the CDF 8 million. All these facilities that are being brought up, the bus, the library, the laboratory, we believe will go a long way to impact very positively on the performance of the school. So generally in academics we have done well, and we still have room for improvement. As you can see in front of me here, these trophies, these are all academic trophies. This one we got from when we attended Rangala English contest, and our school emerged the best mixed school. This one we also got when we attended Maranda Mathematics contest in 2018, and our school emerged #1 among the mixed school. That's why we were given this particular trophy. This one was given, it was given to us by Sea Biology Association for being the best mixed school in one of the biology contests that we attended. So those are some among other achievements. I cannot enumerate all of them, but those are the few I can mention.
The principal has applauded the education stakeholders in the school for working hand in hand with the school management in achieving the projected school visions.
I want to appreciate some of the teachers who have always made all this possible. For example, when it comes to academics, we have quite a committed director of studies, Bana Godfrey Ocheng. I want to thank him. From the time he was appointed to this position, the school has made several achievements in academics. I also want to appreciate the drama patron for the kind of diligence he always carry out his duties that has made the school to reach high levels. I should also not forget about our games teacher, games master, Mr. Ronald Uma, who is always organizing these activities. I want to thank him and I want to thank them for always being there for the students. I want to appreciate our students in terms of discipline. It's a town school, but the discipline of the school is above the board. We have so many activities taking place that can impact very negatively on our students, but with the programs that we have put in place, I think it has made students be on their toes, and we don't have any serious cases of indiscipline. Last time, when many schools faced a lot of unrest, ours were very calm, and as you can see for yourself, the environment is calm, and I want to believe we are still going to get those good results. I want to thank our church. This school is sponsored by Methodist Church. It is the only school in Western Kenya, Nyanza, which is sponsored by the Methodist Church. You see the landscaping and the plants that look very attractive. This was just a donor which the church identified the school and did all this for the school. So I want to thank the church. I want to appreciate them. I want to appreciate the CDF. I want to appreciate the GAF. I want to appreciate the Ministry of Education. I also want to appreciate the TSC because currently we are 18 teachers against, we are 13 teachers from TSC and 5 teachers on board. So 13, our CBE is supposed to be 18 teachers, but the TSC has given us 13, which is not something very common in many schools. And most schools will realize that they employ more of board teachers, or there are more of board teachers than TSC teachers. However, here we have more board teachers, more TSC teachers than board teachers. But we still hope that in future, that deficiency of 5 teachers, the TSC will fill it up so that we have the right number to teach. I know the 5 being a day school, 5 teachers on board sometimes I find a very, very heavy on the school finances.
The facility also engaged in dairy farming, banana farming, bakery, which supports the school financially. For Maisha Education segment, Maisha Television, I'm Millicent Makoha.
And now let's shift focus to our daily feature, My Hustle, My Life, My Story.
In a common knowledge, nowadays small enterprises or the so-called hustles are very important to the economic growth of our nation. Small hustles independently require less capital, less workforce and less input. As it is said, small businesses are for the patient, brave and resilient. In Bungoma town, Bungoma County, nearly 70% of Bungoma County residents are unemployed youths. The positive contributions of hustles mtaani are seen and appreciated in the epoch of the structural unemployment we besiege. In the heart of Bungoma town, we meet a small-scale trader Albert Mutehene, a retiree who runs a small-scale workshop. He tells his story.
My name are Albert Maunda Mutehene. I retired from the Postal Corporation of Kenya 2014. Yes. I was a branch manager Bungoma Post Office, Bungoma County. I was working for the Postal Corporation of Kenya.
Postal Corporation of Kenya.
As a branch manager, Bungoma County.
Yes.
Yes. After retiring, you realize when you are in employment, yes, you are used to counting money. Yes. You edit money as a branch manager. You must say all those branches because I was governing the branches within Bungoma County and the Patrick County. Yes.
So you can tell us briefly what this workshop of yours entails, what you do in it, the services you offer.
What I offer in my workshop, I do the welding, molding, and also actually I sell the spare parts, the old and new spare parts for Toyota vehicles.
Alright, so in this kind of business, we realize that it might have challenges, especially now that we are in a period that we're just recovering from COVID-19. So what are some of the challenges that you've been facing?
The major problems within this was COVID-19.
Yeah.
After the COVID-19, you realize it affected the economy of the country, yes, the whole world, not the country.
Yeah.
So it also affected the pockets of the customers.
Yes.
But what we do, we only try to survive on the little we earn. That's what we do.
So are there any specific challenges that you would say affect this kind of business only?
Oh, the challenges are that with the current new vehicles coming, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now selling the old spare parts is a big challenge because the new ones streamlined on the side of computer systems.
Right.
Yes, and the only one you see is manual.
Yes.
But whether the manual are being washed away currently.
Yeah.
We are dealing with it. That's and that's why I also now decided to introduce a welding in that business to cover the losses in the other side. Yes.
The impact of technology on small businesses has been felt widely, from resources to its usage. To Albert, his also sustainability is a growing mind for a healthy economy to source the daily needs of his family competitively.
I'm able to feed my family. I'm able to educate my family.
Yes.
From these proceeds of small business.
Yeah, and from here, what else would you like to do? I mean,
I'm a farmer.
Yeah.
I deal with the dairy farm. I have about 4 animals. I milk 3 of them.
Cows, you mean cattle? You rear cattle?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So, in this particular venture of yours, where would you like to be in years to come?
In years to come, I want now from here, I want it to have a big industry to employ more people, employ the youths.
Yes.
In the workshop, to do nerve welding, for example, doors and wet windows. We can go to the side and complete everything. And to have a very big company that can do the construction. Yeah, that's my dream.
So I believe outside there are guys who are looking for something to do once they retire, and again the young generation who as well do not have things in specific to do, to venture into for sustainability. What advice would you have for them?
For anybody to run a business, discipline is the most important. In any venture you do, you must have discipline, cash discipline, spending. You keep the course on what you are doing. Are you making profit or business? What business you do? If you are doing you are making losses, then there's no need for you to be in business.
And what would you say is the worst case scenario?
The worst case scenario, the challenge, the worst scenario is that when you buy the new items and they become obsolete, that's a loss.
Right. For Maisha TV, I am Brian Onduru.
Well, and now let's move to our news segment 5/5. With less than 7 months to the August general elections, are you ready to elect leaders who will keep the interest of Mwananchi at heart? The leader who will be ready to fight in parliament for a bill which is meant to benefit common citizens. The leader who will not incite Kenyans against their opponents or on ethnic basis. The leaders who will be in parliament during the discussions of bills that is meant to benefit Kenyans and not about the increment of their salaries. Meanwhile, for the first time in the history of Kenya, the president and his deputy are openly pulling in different directions. This has led to shifting loyalties and clear rifts within the ruling coalition, causing tensions in various parts of the country. The rush by politicians to use their ethnic blocs as bargaining chips in the political game is beginning to worry many Kenyans who fear the cutthroat competition could cause violence in a disputed election, as it happened in the recent past. Politicians have been trooping back to their native regions, a move that some view as ethnic mobilization disguised as consultative meetings for discussing issues affecting their constituents. Though the 2010 Constitution attempts to remedy the situation by devolving power to counties to shift the focus from the presidency, the competition for the top seat remains fierce. So my advice and plea to Kenyans, let's vote for leaders based on their manifesto, integrity, and also on the way they carry themselves, not because ni mtu wetu. Make a wise choice. That was our Prime 5025 with me, Rida Kering Uchebet, from the editorial board that brings you the authoritative and now the most watched bulletin that airs Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. and 9 a.m. and on weekends, that is Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. We say thank you. Also a big thank you to everyone who made this possible. Well, that marks the end of the bold and incisive bulletin Maisha Prime News. Enjoy the rest of the broadcast.
The stage is set. The time is now. Credible news. It is Prime News. Only on Maisha TV. Prepare for the beast. Informative. Authoritative, unbiased. Welcome to Maisha News.
Well, right. Welcome back to PLG Politics, Leadership and Governance. My name is Rida Chebet Kering, and of course, I'm not alone. I'm with
Bushebi Jr. here.
And you can follow this conversation, Facebook and YouTube, Maisha Television Kenya, Instagram and Twitter at Maisha TV KE. We also have a phone number which is 0746 999 841. You can comment, you can send your views, your feedback, and whatever we are talking about. And today we are talking about the politics that is going on currently. We know that 2023 imefika na sasa siasa ndio imepamba sasa.
I told you watana na mambo ya kupiga siasa 2021. Na bado
ndio siasa imeanza sasa, and you've seen IEBC ilitoa zile tarehe. We are seeing the public servants resigning in numbers. Offices za Uhuru Kenyatta tunaona that zinaenda kubaki empty. And by the way, about that, we've seen a number of CS and the CAS quitting or resigning to go for political seats. Do you think that maybe this is going to affect the government of President Uhuru Kenyatta?
It won't affect anything because it's not like umetenda dhambi sasa Mungu ameshtuka. alijua tu utatenda dhambi. So the government, I mean, all through after when they were forming the cabinet, they knew that the election will come. It's like saying on August 9th people are going to vote, so what will happen to Uhuru Kenyatta? He knows. He's supposed to leave office and hand over, so he knew that this would happen. It can happen even 100%, everyone can leave. But you just prepare for that. I'm sure, I'm 100% sure they were prepared for all this. And we wish all those who are living, not only just the cabinet where people are living, even in media.
Yeah.
Sasa kama wewe utaka kusimama na deadline imeisha.
Inabidi mdosi pia amejipanga kidogo.
Deadline imeisha. We saw Jalango crying as he left Kiss FM. He is going to stand for Langata constituency. We've seen quite a number of journalists. I'm trying to remember some local names. There's one also at KBC who left. Yes, and then there's quite a number who resigned yesterday. And
I think that on Wednesday was the deadline.
Yes.
For all public servants, you know, according to the law, whoever, maybe unajua kuna mtu anashanga kwani mbona watu wana resign. According to the law, the public servants are required to vacate office 6 months to the general elections.
9th of February. Yeah, that was the deadline. And so those MCAs who want to become members of parliament, they were shocked. They wanted to,
there was some miscommunications where they're saying that also MCAs are supposed to resign if they want to seek for higher positions. But then we see EBC clarified that and said that no.
So they can now live at peace. Don't worry, MCAs. Things are. We talked to Chebukati. We talked to him. So
yeah. So you're not supposed to vacate your office
yes,
until the time when you need to submit your nomination. That is the time when you need to vacate the office.
Yes.
So now moving on, Bushebi Junior, let's come back to politics. I know that. That area, just informing our viewers on what is going on currently in the country. We've seen the Kenya Kwanza Brigade pitching camp in Western Kenya. They were in Kakamega, Vihiga. They went to Busia, and on Wednesday they were in Kitale. And we saw the Kitale people rejecting, saying Krista way. Let me use the words that they were using.
They were saying
Krista way. Do you think that maybe it's because let me just in my opinion, it's because the sitting governor who is Patrick Kaemba was from Ford Kenya, and you saw what happened to Trans Nzoia County. That is why they were saying Krista.
This has nothing to do with Ford Kenya. It has nothing to do with PS Kaemba. If it has, then it's roped in. But this has everything to do with the pursuit of gubernatorial seat by Natembeya. Okay, George Natembeya has positioned himself as a force. He's a force on his own, and he has his own ways of doing that and ensuring his presence is felt everywhere. So this has, I do believe, in my opinion, if it was somebody else and not George Natembeya, maybe the reception wouldn't have been like that.
You know, there's a time when I saw hizo maneno zilikuwa zimetokea where they were saying that Ford Kenya has failed.
That is what DAP Kenya has been saying. But now we need to go back to the history and the background of the formation of DAP Kenya. Okay, the DAP Kenya needs a narrative. You don't form a political party and you have nothing to say, nothing to tell people, and you know your opponent is Ford Kenya. Okay, so you have to, like I said, you have to, the same way people are looking for things to castigate Raila Odinga, the same way people are looking for something to castigate Ford Kenya, because DAP Kenya is trying to position itself as the new party that is growing so fast. It's looking for space. You know, there are so many people. So you come in, you need to knock this one, you need to knock this one, and go to the front position. So that is what DAP Kenya has been doing. You've seen DAP Kenya, receiving defectors from all over, and mostly they don't even care about defectors from UDA, and they only want defectors from Ford Kenya. Okay, so what are they trying to tell people? That listen, we are out here to completely destroy Ford Kenya. And now let's look at the gubernatorial aspirant, Trans Nzoia gubernatorial aspirant, George Natembeya. George Natembeya is a force on his own. Okay, that is one candidate every political party would try to woo. Is another darling. Okay, that every political party would try to get, so that we will give you a direct ticket. Like for him, he's a force on his own. So the kind of reception that was experienced when Ford Kenya party leader Moses Wetangula tried to drum up support for the outgoing Kiminini member of parliament, Chris Omalo, and then the crowd started singing, "We don't want Chris." I do believe if it were against Ford Kenya, even Wetangula himself wouldn't have spoken. Even Chris wouldn't have spoken, because it was only that bit whenever they tried to mention the governor, whenever they tried to say, "Governor, we're going to give you the governor from Kenya Kwanza, whose name is Chris Omalo," that bit alone is what caused a few individuals up on. But let me tell you, it wasn't everyone. It's a group a section of some youths who were pale mbele ambao walikuwa wanaanza kuimba, because if it were everyone, you should people should go back and watch Yote Yawezekana Bila Moi. Yote Yawezekana Bila Moi during when KANU was leaving office, and people were singing Yote Yawezekana Bila Moi. You should see that was not a section. You cannot go and report and say a section of. Everyone was singing, and it was like it was crazy. It was crazy. Everyone was just singing Yote Yawezekana Bila Moi. You could see the yoke being lifted from the necks of Kenyans when KANU left power. It is totally different with what we see. 10 people, 20 people wanaanza kuimba something, trying to influence the rest to also sing. So it tells you the politics that is going on. So it has nothing to do with Ford Kenya. That particular event, it has nothing to do with Ford Kenya. It has everything to do with the gubernatorial aspirant himself, that is George Natembeya and Chris Omalo. Okay, so Chris Omalo has a huge task. That is the truth. George Natembeya is not a walk over kind of candidate in Trans Nzoia. He is a tough, he's this larger than life kind of leader, okay, who speaks with authority and has stamped his authority. He has worked in government. He knows a lot. Okay, so we need to understand the kinds of candidates that are in gubernatorial race in Trans Nzoia. And when you look at DAP Kenya now, DAP Kenya is a group of rebels from Ford Kenya. And so the narrative that they are trying to pick from such incidences is that people don't want Ford Kenya, because for them their war is not against any other person. Their war is not against, like we have a manifesto, we want to build roads. You've not seen them, saying such things. All they say is Ford Kenya Fukuza, this one toa. That is what they're singing. Okay, so it's giving them mileage. Okay, DAP Kenya is gaining some small mileage because of that kind of narrative. But that particular event in Trans Nzoia, in Kitale, Pale Kenyatta, it has, in my opinion, it has everything to do with George Natembeya himself and Chris Omalo. Otherwise, even Moses Wetangula wouldn't have said, even Deputy President William Ruto and the rest wouldn't have been there. It would have been singing and chaos, and stuff like that. But Those few guys who were shouting, I think eventually Wetangula told them, I salute you and everything.
Yeah, aliwaambia asante sana, tumesikia.
Yeah, tumesikia. Your message is home.
Yeah, and still then Kitale, the deputy president, castigated the DAP Kenya. Akawaambia that come out kama wanaume and just say that we are ODM. He was claiming that DAP Kenya is just ODM in blue whatever.
That's another arm of ODM. Kakuwa na branch. I think Deputy President said what we all know. All through, I think, almost 4 weeks or 5 weeks ago, when DAP was unveiled. I think I was in your program, I think, and I said this has nothing to do with the new party. This is ODM, and that is true. That is very true, in my opinion. That is very true. DAP Kenya is ODM. It's Azimio. It's ODM. It is a. You know, I was giving you a narrative of Raila Odinga scattering the Western Kenya, and then trying to gather them in Azimio, and William Ruto waits for those ones who are still in the air and grabbing them. You know, you scatter them, he waits and looks at the big, you know, yenye ni mzito sana. Anaona Mdavadi kule hewani, ana grab. Anaona Wetangula, ana grab. So William Ruto went for the big fish. Okay? And Raila Odinga was like, no. So kama mnaenda empty handed. Okay? Muende huko but mnaenda tu nyinyi wawili vile mmeenda pekenyu, nyinyi endeni. But the rest who are under you, I'm going to get all of them and place them in Azimio. That's remember that time I was talking about Raila Odinga scattering and William Ruto gathering. So Raila Odinga has been scattering because of and it is not a bad thing. It's a political game. Yeah, divide and rule. Divide them, then gather them in Azimio. And William Ruto stands aside and says, no, these people, it's like they don't have a shepherd. I'll come in. I will gather the big fish and give them back to them as their leader. Okay? So he did that and took Moses Wetangula and Mudavadi and then came back. We were asking why they've been camping in Western. He came back to present to Western Kenyan people, hey, listen, these two are your leaders. Forget about these other ones. Wale walikuwa pia under them. So they have decided to choose another leader who is not part of you. But for me, I'm bringing you leaders that are your own blood, your own children. Here they are. The other one is not yours. Ni ameingilia kwa dirisha. That's why he's saying DAP ni ODM. Trying to mean that it's wameingilia kwa dirisha, lakini kuna hapa ANC ni yenyu, Ford Kenya ni yenyu, lakini DAP as much as you are saying it is si yenyu ni ya ODM. It is just ODM. So that is the narrative that has been going on, and you know, they just can't it is only William Ruto who comes out to say some things openly, and yeah, you've seen even Mudavadi right now ako na energy.
Yeah, na watu wamekuwa wanashangaa sana, this is not the Mudavadi that
siku hizi vitu anakula Mungu ndiye anajua tupige.
Siku hizi yako na ile energy, at least you can listen to him. Tangu angeshika mic, you know, economy is bad.
Yeah, he didn't have news, but these days when you see that Mudavadi somewhere, cameras nakimbia hapo, you know, reporters wanakimbia, they just want to hear what Mudavadi, and but I love the energy that he has. He has some very good, he had the same energy during NASA.
Yeah, NASA
Uru, and I think the same energy. We would ask Mudavadi to keep on, you know, endelea kitu unakula, endelea tu kukula, inasaidia. But one thing I wanted to say about DAP Kenya, in my opinion, Kenya Kwanza is not fighting DAP Kenya. Okay? Kenya Kwanza is fighting Azimio la Umoja. Okay? And so by mentioning DAP Kenya, they actually don't put much effort into DAP Kenya. Okay? They are focusing on Raila Odinga, ODM. It is ODM that they are after, not DAP Kenya. because they have already succeeded in painting the picture that DAP Kenya was created by Raila Odinga to divide and scatter the votes of Western Kenya. And they created the picture that Musalia Mudavadi and Wetangula have come to unite the people of Western Kenya. That is the picture that they have been trying to build for a long time. And if you see them camping in Western Kenya, that's what they are trying to do. Okay? So they are not fighting DAP Kenya. And don't be shocked to find that in the next general elections after this of this year, there won't be any DAP Kenya.
Just like you said the other time,
Yeah.
we'll not be forming parties.
Every election period. Because where is New Ford Kenya? It vanished. These parties are, especially in Western Kenya, parties are formed to scatter and destroy votes. Once they achieve what they have achieved, that's it. Nobody cares about them anymore. So trust you me, bado tuko DAP Kenya won't exist after elections.
2022 elections.
Yeah.
Let's wait and see. And it seems like now Western Kenya has become the darling. The attention has shifted from Mount Kenya. The other time it was Mount Kenya, Mount Kenya leaders were going to Mount Kenya. But now we're seeing that leaders are really coming to Western Kenya. And there is that fight, not fight, but a political fight where the Azimio team say that Raila Odinga has a big say in Western Kenya. The other faction say that it's Kenya Kwanza because it has the two kingpins of Western Kenya, that is Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula. In your opinion, how can you gauge currently the politics of Western Kenya? Why is all of a sudden Western Kenya imekuwa the darling to many, the two main rivals of the 2022 polls?
It all comes back to the votes in that are in Western Kenya. And looking at the votes, you ask yourself one question: if I can bag all these, let's say 3 million, 4 million votes or 5 million votes, if I can put them in one basket, that is the big question. It has, whenever a region becomes a darling, it's a swing vote. It's a darling because of votes, nothing else.
Yeah, and the last opinion I saw, polls by IEBC, Western Kenya has about 5 million.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Can you just imagine for once that I have all these 5 million votes for myself? Okay? Can you just imagine that for once? And you know, leaders are visionary people. When you look at a number like 5 million, then you have to have a vision of getting the 5 million. And that is why both Raila Odinga and William Ruto began going after Western Kenya. They want the 5 million votes. Okay, they want the 5 million votes. And so the big question is, that is eating everyone's head right now, is how do I get the 5 million votes? So one team, Kenya Kwanza team, says, you know, I can take Mudavadi and take Wetangula, and then I can manage, if not 5 million, I can manage at least 3 million. Okay? And remember, Western Kenya, like in 2013, there at time we were looking at the way Western Kenya was voting, especially the Luya land, the way the region was voting. In 2013, Mudavadi defeated Raila Odinga. So Mudavadi was the kingpin of Luya land. Okay, not Raila Odinga. Go back to facts. Let's stop politics and go back to facts.
It's only in 2 counties where
Kakamega and Bungoma.
Yeah, and the range was not that big.
Yes,
The margin.
but the other counties, Mudavadi beat Raila square down. So who is the kingpin? The kingpin here is Mudavadi. If we are to judge that basing on the 2013 voting, the coming elections, it is Mudavadi who gave Raila what he had. Okay, that's through NASA, you know, and stuff like that. He took all that he had, you know, and gave it to Raila Odinga. So as much as you want to make noise, we have to know that Mudavadi has been a kingpin. Okay, he beat Raila in Western Kenya. And so, facts don't lie. Don't make decisions as a politician basing on what people just say. Go back to numbers. So this is one man who's been controlling. And now, William Ruto looks at that and is like, wait a minute. If this is what happened, let's look at the historical facts. This is what happened. So it is not just William Ruto that went for Mudavadi. Even Raila Odinga went for Mudavadi. He wanted Mudavadi to be in Azimio. So let us not paint the picture that it is William Ruto who went for Mudavadi, and Wetangula. No. You remember even Mudavadi and Wetangula were rejecting. You remember the stories of President Uhuru Kenyatta calling them in State House and telling them to support Raila Odinga. And they were like, we are not going to do that. We've done that twice and we've been betrayed and stuff. So it was, even Raila Odinga tried to do that through the president, to get Mudavadi and Wetangula on his side. Okay? But these two leaders said no. Because even Raila Odinga knows very well that these two leaders, Mudavadi and Wetangula, have a big say in Western Kenya. Okay, so the joining of them with William Ruto created the earthquake that we saw, is still a threat to Azimio la Umoja. But remember, Raila Odinga alone also has control, even in the places where Mudavadi beat Raila. Raila got votes.
Yes.
Okay, and he got votes in Kakamega and he got votes in Bungoma. So you can also not just sit back and say Mudavadi is kingpin, he beat Raila, and so he is a force. Raila is a force in Western Kenya. So the matrix becomes, in 2022, how do I make sure if I don't gain, I maintain what I had? Okay? If I don't gain even one vote, but at least let me not lose what I got last time. Okay? That is the matrix. And I know that is where watu wakiamka asubuhi ni kalamu na karatasi na facts, angalia na research na kupiga probability na kuona bana hizi votes zimeenda ama bado ziko. Bungoma tuko na ngapi hivi? Bungoma tunaweza kuwa na 10. Okay, hapa kama tumepoteza, what do we do? Let us organize a rally and go there. When you see a rally, it's because somebody has sensed amepoteza kitu. Okay? Why is Kenya Kwanza Brigade coming back to Western all the time? Because DAP had their rally. Okay? And they gained ground. Okay? They gained ground. And how do you gain ground in politics? Through convincing people. So they came and they said, DAP Kenya, we are here. Governor Wangamati is going for a second term. He will be vying through DAP Kenya. They were in Trans Nzoia. They presented Natembea. And when you sit down, you discover we've already lost almost 100,000 votes. So what do? Let us go back. And it is again, vile wamemaliza hivi, trust you me, Azimio is coming. Azimio is coming. Okay? Yes. Because the moment you realize that your opponent amekuwa hapa na amepeana maneno yake na ameconvince watu na votes zimeenda, you must come back in the race. You have to get your people back. Come and strengthen. Kama hauta gain, please ebu maintain zile votes zako 10 zenye ulipata last time. Because it is like business. You'd rather maintain the clients you have than lose them in pursuit of new ones. Okay? And you lose everything. So that is the game in politics. So whenever you see Western Kenya becoming a darling, it is because of the almost 5 million votes. And somebody wants them in one basket. Na kila mtu ana strategy yake. Like I said, Raila scatter, gather them through DAP. Put them in Azimio. William Ruto, no, I'm going to look for 2 leaders who represent these people, and then I'll gather the votes through them. You see that? So those are 2 strategies that they are using in Western Kenya. And we will see who will get the votes. So if Raila Odinga with DAP Kenya is going to manage to get his votes, we wish him well. If it's William Ruto through Mudavadi and Wetangula is going to get the votes, we wish him well. This is the thing. And Raila anaweza sema somebody tosha, you never know.
But Raila already declared he will be in the ballot. And the Kandu member of parliament, Wafula Omunyinyi, who is the DAP, is it the party leader?
Party leader.
Alisema when the DAP Kenya was here in Bungoma County, he said that he will be running for the senatorial seat in Bungoma County.
Hiyo kusema ukweli, kusema ukweli, in my opinion, you know, Wetangula has not said he's going to run for what. We know that he's been endorsed to run for presidency. And you know, he's been busy on the bigger platform. Yeah? Lakini kama atasema tu mimi nakuja kuwa senator, yeye hata campaign.
So Wafula Omunyinyi should just retain.
Yeye hata campaign.
And I think that Wafula Omunyinyi was reacting to what Senator
Malala.
No, it was Senator Malala said that if you see the party leaders in Kenya kwanza wote wanaenda for presidency. But then we have the party leader of DAP Kenya
anaenda kwa MP
for member of parliament.
It's yasa. There is this ni governor wa wapi huyu not Nandi, ni which county is this? There's a governor alikuwa anasema kwamba siasa weka hapa.
Governor Wasingishu.
Mandago, thank you so much for your speech. Ulikuwa unasema siasa unaweka hapa. Ndio ukifanya inatoka. Okay? Otherwise siasa mtu anaweza kuambia kitu na akakwambia mbele ya watu kwa platform ambayo unaweza enda ukajiua. So some of the things these politicians keep saying on rallies are just crazy. I heard Malala say that and I was like, that was savage. But
it had some impact.
You know, when somebody speaks the truth in such a way, unajua kuna ukweli yenye unaweza ambiwa na haikuumi. Lakini sasa mtu akikwambia ukweli in a way that like that bwana, unajua it's inauma sana. So but it's a good thing. We want that competition so that our leaders can grow. Unajua usipolipoliwa hivyo pia huwezi grow. Utakuwa unabaki tu hapo every day running for the same thing. Wacha wakulipwe kidogo alafu uamke useme bwana hapana. Kumbe hivi ndio vile watu wananiona. Let me try and grow. So we don't grow in comfort. We grow in hard times and when things are tough and you get such criticism. And I'm sure Wamunyinyi is also planning a reply. If I'm sure he's planning something for Malala, you know. But that's the gist. That's the excitement of politics. Yeah.
So as we wind up now, let's talk about the RABC, the voter registration exercise we just concluded. Although
you didn't ask me about Lusaka.
Lusaka is still quiet.
No, Lusaka is not quiet.
It will be in the ballot. We don't know. You know.
No. Lusaka said there are some people that I think he gave a statement on Wednesday, and he said that there are some people who've been saying that Lusaka has left the race. And he said that in the race.
You know, he was being convinced by some of the Azimio team saying that he should not run for governorship.
If Lusaka is another Natembea in Bungoma, that is one thing that is true. And in my own opinion, the incumbent Wangamati under DAP has a huge task. You know, he really needs to come out strongly and be like Ruto. Don't wait for the campaign period. Okay, go out right now and do massive. Usilale, wacha waseme unapiga campaign 300 kwa siku, but wewe ndo unajua chenye unataka. Okay, how hawajui, so it doesn't bother them. You're the one who knows what you want. I would say, because when Lusaka learns to do his campaigns, it's going to be something else. So the earlier the better. Okay? The earlier the better. And I do believe if Governor Wangamati could finish the Bungoma dual carriageway, if he could just do some miracles and finish that road, that road would give him mileage. It will change the whole game, because now there is nothing Lusaka can say, because Wangamati would have achieved something that nobody has achieved before. Okay, but now you see, if the Bungoma dual carriageway remains the way it has been, that is a tool. You are putting a weapon in the hands of Ken Lusaka. You are putting a weapon in the hands of Wetangula, and you know the way Wetangula is another good orator, especially when he starts speaking in mother tongue. Okay, and he starts convincing people that, you see, this one has failed. The same way Deputy President is being castigated for failures of Jubilee. Okay, people will drum that up. You remember when Lusaka was being castigated over the wheelbarrow thing? And Wetangula, the same Wetangula would go to a rally, greet the people, and then say, and somebody, I don't know how, almost in every rally there was a wheelbarrow somewhere.
Just to bring out the message.
Exactly. So almost in every rally, this idea of wheelbarrow, then the wheelbarrow will be placed to the podium. Hii kitu inaweza kuwa 10,000 ama sijui 1,100. Watu hapana, the message is home, rudisha huko. That's it. And people vote you out. And so the unfinished Bungoma dual carriageway will just be turned into another wheelbarrow. Okay, the big question will be, how many people have been to Bungoma town? Simoni naka kama shamba nini, hatutaki hiyo message home. That's it. So for me personally, I do believe his flagship projects that were great projects, at least let him do a miracle and finish one of them. Okay, like the stadium. We know that the stadium is a little bit out of town, but something that would give him mileage would be the dual carriageway. If Governor Wangamati can work on that, and by the time of going to elections, that thing is done.
Yeah, but I think he's really trying. I was on that road some few days.
Yes.
And I saw that at least ukiangalia katikati, they're trying to put to portion the paths, the left and the right. At least saizi unajua kitambo ungekuwa unatembea na gari inakuja kwa barabara mbaya, hata inaweza kukuta.
Watu wafunzwe kuendesha gari. How do you drive on the right side?
Tunaona that wanaweka zile nini za katikati kugawanyisha gari za left na zile za right. I think labda anajua what you're saying.
Yes, I'm just drumming it up. I'm just telling the governor. And then Trans Nzoia we know. Huko pia nani yako na kazi. In Kakamega, Malala and Khalwale. A tough battle. I talk for another day. Yes.
I'm seeing also that Mwelekezi anasema kwamba tumekula time kidogo, and I think that the message is home.
Yes.
Let's wait and see how the things are going to turn out. We've seen that Western Kenya saizi is a darling to the Azimio la Umoja movement and also the Kenya Kwanza Brigade. Let's wait and see who will eventually win the Luya Nation. Thank you so much for being with us since the start of the program. PLG, Politics, Leadership and Governance. And also you can follow us on YouTube, Maisha Television Kenya, Facebook, Maisha Television Kenya, Instagram and Twitter at Maisha TV KE. If you have any comments, views, feedback or questions concerning the show, you can send it on 0746 999 841. My name is Rida Chebet Karim, and with me in studio today was
Bushebi Jr. And yes, let's stay peaceful. Let's debate these things, speculate, talk about politics, but respect people, love your neighbor. Let's keep peace. Na kama hujachukua kura, enda uchukue kura.
Time imeisha, but
imeisha,
yes, but you can still go to the offices. I saw IEBC walisema that bado inaendelea tarehe 20 na kitu. So
sasa kumbe I was right.
Kama hujachukua ile ya kupatikana hapo nje ilisha. but you can just
go to IBC
the
offices.
But all in all, what we need, we want that even after, before and after the election, Kenya will stay united. Tubaki na ile handshake. We want peace. We still want our country even after the general elections. Hizi ni siasa tu. Itaisha, we will elect leaders and we will move on with our lives. So thank you so much for being with us. Let's meet next time.